Hello, I'm Joshua Dunn, and welcome to the Making a Difference video showcase. These documentaries were produced by beginning television students at the University of Laverne. Today we'll focus on stories featuring local individuals who have positively affected the lives of others. Our first documentary is about Stephanie Powell, a professor of dance at Long Beach City College. Professor Powell is a taskmaster who runs a tight ship but makes a difference in the lives of her students, teaching them poise, passion, and perseverance. She has invested time and money to make sure they get to where they need to be in life. Dance brings light into the lives of many, but it takes a passionate individual to illuminate that light within their students and to push them towards greatness. Stephanie Powell is the dance program director of Long Beach City College. She is passionate, strict, a go-getter, and she teaches her students to be the same on and off of the dance floor.
Yes, you're going to do pirouettes. Yes, you're going to jump and leap and fly, but overall, you need to be a good person, and you need to come out of here with some skills and some intellectual choices on how to deal with other people and how to present yourself as a dancer. I basically run this program like Juilliard. That's where I trained when I was 15 at School of American Ballet, and I think if you set a bar high, students will reach it.
Her rehearsal process and her classes they challenge me every day, not just physically, but she challenges us to really think about what we're doing and why and where it's coming from. And she pushes you to be your best, which at the time, sometimes you don't appreciate, but as soon as that process is over, you can just feel how much that you've grown as a person, as a dancer.
Professor Powell is big on being all-inclusive and treating everyone, no matter their title, with the respect and dignity that they deserve.
I came from Oregon. This is definitely the most diverse group of people that I've ever experienced in general.
I think that diversity is a necessity. I think there are some brilliant people of color that need a voice, and it starts in the student level. And when you see a professor that's in that position, it gives students hope, it gives students encouragement and power.
The most important thing she's taught me is that, yes, I'm a black woman, but at the end of the day, I get to be a dancer first. My skin color doesn't define who I get to be, what I want to do. I'm a dancer and I just so happen to be black.
In 2017, Stephanie Powell, along with Martha Pimentuan and Bernard Gaddis, helped make history for Long Beach City College. Stephanie enlisted the support of Mr. Gaddis, the artistic director of Contemporary West in Las Vegas, to choreograph a piece which led dancers to winning the American College Dance Association Conference and moving on to perform at the world-renowned Jacob's Pillow in Beckett, Massachusetts.
And I was dancing with the partner that I had at Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater and Lion King, Bernard Gaddis, who is the artistic director of Contemporary West in Las Vegas. So I was a guest performer on his concert. I just looked at it, and I wasn't looking at it through the lens of just being an observer. I was looking at it through the lens of being a Long Beach City College professor. And I saw it, and I saw my students. I was like, my students can do this dance. This is a professional piece, but it's attainable. It's gonna be a challenge, but it's attainable, and I think it's a necessary work. I went to local donors, I had students fundraising, and I personally put forth the funds, so about $15,000 on my credit card to make sure that I got my babies on that flight and made sure that we had the opportunity that we applied for.
Overall, I feel like I am very grateful to have that experience because the bottom line is I got to check off a dance bucket list.
It was definitely emotional because I know we all cried once we got downstairs to sign our name under the stage next to everyone else who had performed on the stage. And then just being at Jacob's Pillow itself, being on the campus, you can see just going through the archives, the true history, this is our foundation almost for dance.
Stephanie Powell continues to open doors for her students and to teach them life lessons.
Stephanie has taught me how to self-reflect, how to love myself, as well as other dancers.
I feel like the most curriculum way she does it is by making sure that we always do 3 acts of kindness for concert. So making sure that we are always putting our best foot forward to help out our dance family. Because at the end of the day, we're in this very, very harsh world that dance can be. We are always going to have a positive light by always doing good by each other.
Professor Powell can be described as
Powerhouse.
Incredible.
Independent.
A blessing.
The following story is based on a man who has built a scholarship foundation for the students of La Puente, where he grew up and still lives today. Rudy Chavarria has raised $68,000 to help students go to college. He continues to fundraise and inspires his students to follow the tradition of giving back to your community.
Paying for college is difficult. Students stress out. Some of them start saving up in a piggy bank, some count every last penny in their wallet, but it just isn't enough. As students search for an answer, they find scholarship opportunities. Scholarship opportunities like the Rudy Chavarria Scholarship. Along comes someone who cares for them. Rudy. Rudy raises money for those students who need financial support and some motivation. He gives students the opportunity to shine in college. Rudy was born and raised in the La Puente area, and where he's now married to his beautiful wife, Gabby. And this is where he started his journey and his passion to create this scholarship that is making a difference in young people's lives.
There was a tremendous need for our kids to understand about going to school and getting a college degree. Unfortunately for me, as growing up here in La Puente, we weren't encouraged in the 50s and 60s to go to school. So I didn't have the opportunity to go to college. The foundation is to help kids get a start to go to school. I was able to really see the need in the students in my community and school district. I figured the only way to give back to my community, what was the best way, was to give back to the students. So in 2013, I decided to start the foundation.
Rudy has helped his students in every single way, even by supplying them with learning supplies.
He gave me a desk to work on. He was nice enough to give that to me.
I sent a message to my dad and I told him, I was like, Papi, I won. And then after he was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, people care for you, there's people out there, that want you to succeed. And actually the award he gave us, our Secretary of Labor actually signed it, Ida Solis.
Rudy handpicks his winners selectively and precisely with the help of his board.
Well, Rudy has helped me since the past 4 years, since I got the scholarship. And me and him, we just talk, we message. He always calls me and checks up on me, which is nice.
I admired Rudy, and I admired that he had this idea to do this, to create this foundation, and I think it's admirable. I said, what is your dream? And he said, the foundation.
Rudy is admirable to many as he has become a mentor for all of his students.
I think Rudy became a mentor for me because he's really nice and he's also very helpful. He's always willing to offer help too, both financially and mentally, because school can be a little stressful sometimes.
Well, Rudy has made a difference to our community because I think just taking the time and dedication and the money to actually put into students that are willing to go to school.
Rudy is a kind, very caring individual. That's one of the things I fell in love with to begin with, is his heart. He has a heart of gold.
We created a new fund this last year, and basically we fundraise totally different from the foundation. It's called an emergency fund. And so basically we will write them a check and send them some money to help them. The goal is to keep them focused and keep them in school. Sometimes some of the kids don't have money to eat, or they don't have money to buy their books.
Like sometimes life hits you very hard, but you have to get yourself back up. And people like this have impacted me.
And I think that's what's really important, is not just giving them the check and saying good luck to you, and one day hope you become what you wanted to become.
Because in reality, the check is, it goes, the money gets spent right away, you know, it's not much. But I think, and we strongly believe this, that it's more of the connection we make with them, that they know someone else besides their family believes in them and is supporting them, and it's, you know, and wants to see them succeed.
And I would just say thank you.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you, Rudy, for everything.
Thank you for everything you've done for me, and not only me, but for the other students, and giving us advice in our academics and our life.
Our final story is about Van and Virginia Garner, who were big supporters in their community. Virginia was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia in 1997. Several years later, she beat cancer. Now she and her husband work tirelessly to fundraise for cancer research and treatments. They've partnered with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to run marathons, advocate for patients at the government level, all to raise money for new treatments and eventually a cure for all types of cancer.
Van and Virginia Garner are cancer survivors and major fundraisers in the fight against cancer. Van and Virginia Garner are difference makers.
First of all, cancer gives you a whole new perspective on life and what's important and what isn't. I was diagnosed on August 6, 1997. And it was the chronic phase of chronic myeloid leukemia, CML. It affected my day-to-day life quite drastically because I was put on the standard treatment of the time.
She was very busy with her treatment and very debilitated, so I became a support person, and it was quite a challenge. Someone had called and said she should go to this doctor. So Kim Patterson, who was my assistant at the time, called her sister-in-law, who knew a lot about the treatment of cancer. She had worked for the Cancer Center down in Pomona.
Van came to me and asked if I knew the doctor that Virginia was going to be seeing. And we were able to make a phone call and ask if she knew the doctor that they were scheduled to see. And it ended up that my sister-in-law didn't necessarily think that was the best doctor for the disease that Ginny had been diagnosed with.
I was on that standard treatment for a year. And right when my doctor was pulling me off of it because it had totally devastated my body, the news about the clinical trial came up. And so I traveled to UCLA, got in the trial, and after about 3 or 4 months, my bone marrow test did not show any, showed that the cancer cells were being killed. I became very encouraged by what was happening in the cancer research community, and I became really excited about the fact that I could do things again and not feel so weak. I decided that fundraising was the best way I could help. And I know from my own personal experience how important that is and how many lives it can save.
When Virginia came to me and said, we're going to do the LA Marathon, I thought she was crazy. I said, I don't know about doing this. And she said, I have leukemia. You going to turn me down? And I couldn't turn her down. It was the beginning of a whole new thing in my life.
It was the LA Marathon, and it just happened to be associated with a group called Team in Training, which raises money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Funding from them went into the research leading up to this drug that was so successful with all CML patients. Light the Night is a walk that occurs at in the fall of the year. I walk with my CML support group, sponsored by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We call ourselves the CML Busters.
I think they came to the second meeting or the third meeting of our group, and there were only 8 people in it at the time. So they were one of the original founding members of the group and have been a tremendous, tremendous support organization for other CML patients and their families.
Actually, within the CML Busters, Virginia and Van are consistently coming to our meetings. They lend their knowledge, their experience of CML, how they've dealt with things through the years, because she's been a patient for very many years and I've been a patient since 2001. So through that vast experience, they help share their knowledge to help other people.
Eventually, she became a powerful voice for CML patients, for advocacy, government advocacy and insurance advocacy, also in helping them deal with the side effects, because she's gone through most of the side effects that they will be going through.
My husband and I have, together, we're kind of a team. We raise money for Team and Training together. And we also do Light the Night. You walk about 1 or 2 miles and you finish and you know that you've done something really good for others. So with those 2 things combined, we have raised $736,333. Not that I know to the exact dollar.
When Virginia was first diagnosed, we had a friend come to us and say, if you survive this, you'll never regret a moment of it, because it transforms you in a very positive way. We learned a lot about helping other people and what we can do to help other people.
We hope you found these videos inspiring to make a difference in your community. For the Making a Difference video showcase, I'm Joshua Dunn. Thank you for watching.